And we're live. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. People who like Sonys. People who like flashing. People who don't like flashing. People who like little tiny Britons. And people who do or do not like cops. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And so far on this journey, it's mostly me and Gareth. But today we've been joined by some bloke who's got age-related issues.
Oh, fuck off.
It's Keith.
I told you that.
He can't I don't like it up and he can't keep it up.
And he can't keep it up. And I'm also joined by another bloke who's got hair-related issues. It's Gareth.
Yes, I need a haircut badly.
Hello, cat boy.
That hat.
How we doing?
That hat.
There's nothing wrong with this hat. That's fine.
Just saying.
Just saying.
My hair's quality, mate.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Yes, Nigel. Yes.
Yes.
Do you
So,
want to handle the
week,
rundown, son?
Yeah, so this week we're going to have a little chat about The Flash and what's happened in, not The Flash series, but what's happened to somebody who plays a character in The Flash. Then we're going to talk about Little Britain, which is a little comedy sketch series over here in Britain, surprisingly enough. And there's this long-running show called Cops that we will discuss very briefly, I think. Also, Batman, something that's happened with Batman, and there's some small little film, but way back when. It was called Bill and Ted. Something has been released. And, of course, PS5. There's something going on with PS5 that, well, Gareth is just itching at the bit to tell you about. He can't help himself. So, let's kick it off with The Flash. So,
Okay.
there has been a little bit of an issue with sharing screen. Okay, there we go.
Do you want me to go on? You run it down.
Yeah, go. So the Flash has actually just sort of fired the bloke who plays Elongated Man. His name's Hartley Sawyer. Yeah, to be honest, he was decent enough in the program, wasn't he? But
yeah, I liked his character. I mean, yeah. Go on, you give the facts around it because this one's got me chomping at the bit a bit.
So I can't remember when it was, but many years ago, before he was on the show, he sent out a few tweets that were construed as possibly racist, possibly sexist, and all that sort of stuff.
I would describe them as spicy, edgy boy tweets.
Yeah, very spicy, very edgy. I haven't read the tweets. I can't be fucked because I haven't been bothered by the Flash for quite a while now. So what do you think of this?
Well, I mean, this is one of the tweets he put. Enjoyed a secret boob viewing at an audition today. Okay, right.
Could have been.
You know,
could have been a man
we've all
boob.
said we've said stuff like that down the pub, down the thing. We're men. We say that kind of stuff now and again. It happens. It's not, just there you go.
I wouldn't say secret boob viewing. I say
no. I would have said she's got a nice pair of boobs.
Caught some side boob or something.
Oh, look at the teddies on that. But it's how men speak, right? And I'm not saying it's right, but you get it now and again. But this comes down to, again, right? They immediately fired him. You've got fucking Grant Gustin coming out and going how angry he is and upset. Fucking grow a pair, Grant Gustin, you fucking soy milk drinking wanker. I mean, this guy was so quick to stab his colleague in the back. What a twat, right? I always liked Grant Gustin until he released this statement. He was so fucking quick with it as well. It's like, you fucking slimy, snidey little cunt.
Which one?
Anyway,
The Flash.
The Flash.
Oh, is it?
Barry Allen. So, because he put out a statement thing. But here's again, these tweets are in the public domain, right? So why the fuck has the CW not done their fucking homework? This is like Disney all over again with what's his face. And why don't they employ someone or when they employ someone, why do they not do a fucking check? If they are that bothered about what these actors say, why do they not do a check? You can employ an intern to sit on Twitter for a fucking day and find this shit.
Right, okay, it goes like this, yeah? Maybe because of the current situation, they did go back and trawl through everybody's history on social media because of the current situation. And that's what's caused this to come up, yeah? Because they want to keep their noses clean. Yeah?
Oh, I know
Instead of doing a sensible thing and say, Hartley, delete those fucking tweets. Do it now. Don't say anything. Don't make a big fuss over it and anything like that. Just delete them. And that's it.
Drew everyone's attention to Hartley is recently he's been tweeting out his support for the Black Lives Matter movement. And people sat there and went, you're a bit of a hypocrite, actually. Here's why. And then they've trawled back through his all his previous tweets just to dig up some dirt on him to make him be a hypocrite. I mean, people are probably doing that against everybody, because you'll always find somebody who doesn't like a particular actor, and you'll always have that person who will deliberately try to make them out to seem like a bad guy. And there's millions of people in this world who would do that. So people have probably done this to every single person. So when I say done this, they've probably gone back over their old tweets to see if they're a hypocrite or not, to see if their morals are straight and whatnot, just to prove what.
Right, hang on a second.
But my point.
Hold on. Shut your pie hole, Keith, for a second. All right, I'm down in the bottom square, so I have to make a bit more noise this time. All right. Right. When it comes to Twitter and outrage mobs, you have to realize the following: an outrage mob on Twitter lasts no longer than 36 hours, because they found someone new by then to go after. If you keep quiet for that period of time, they just disappear. So I don't know why they bother trying to worry about this whole nonsense. He said that, right. The other thing too is he was probably about in his 20s, his mid-20s when he did that. So it's not very mature, and it wasn't very mature. And the response from Grant Gustin should have been, it's immature, but it's not that bad. Yeah, we're having this weird puritanical ideological bent where it's like kind of, if you don't conform exactly, I mean exactly, we will burn you. Yeah, and it's a tactic that fucking the Nazis and the communists used to use. The Nazis used to do it through freaking book burning, and the communists used to drag people out in the middle of the night and
it's fascism. It's totalitarianism. And if these people they're never going to be happy. They will find something else to be pissed off with. I mean, only this week, the ultra feminist icon that is Killing Eve. Guess what? They put a picture of all the writers online, and they're now they're trying to cancel Killing Eve because there's no black people in the writing thing. You're never going to satisfy these people. But what pisses me off about these studios is they fire these fucking people straight away off the bat. Well, if you're this bothered by it, do some fucking homework before you employ these people. And if you don't like what they've written, don't employ them in the first place. As I said, you can get a fucking intern to read these guys' Twitter and point out anything that's slightly risque. That's all you have to do. It's pure laziness. In my opinion, the studio is equally as culpable as the actor, yet they've thrown the actor to the fucking wayside to save their own asses. And the studio can go... Right. Fuck off, because the studios is culpable.
Right, it goes like this. In my eyes, the actor's not culpable whatsoever. He can express what he wants, how he wants. Yeah, we do get annoyed with people expressing stuff, but I wouldn't take that away from him. It allows us to understand who people are by the way they express. And from reading those tweets, he was one of those mid-20 edgy boys trying to be fucking clever.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. And then you look at that, and it's like you try hard. And all he has to do is turn around and say, they're gone.
You're right that he has every right to say what he wants and what he believes, because we all believe in freedom of speech. You have to take the consequences when that happens. I do think he
Why should he take the consequences
not
for
that he's-
something? What happened to,
because
what
he
happened to the
said
ideals of
something out there, so-
forgiveness? What happened to the
no, I agree with
ideas
you.
of context, the
Well,
ideas of understanding? Yeah, a bit
I
of context and a bit of
totally
understanding.
agree with you.
Not doing it now. And the other
I
thing
agree
too,
with
he
you,
was,
but you
he's the long and short of it is I think that the Greeks were right when it came to actors. Actors are on the same level as prostitutes, and they should be considered that way. All right, that's the way the Greeks saw actors. They saw them like people see prostitutes, and they should be seen as that. They shouldn't be given any kind of higher status. I don't know why we give them higher status. They're as thick as shit. Yeah,
you are culpable for what you say. You are culpable for what you say, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be. But I agree with you completely that you should be given forgiveness, especially because these were 7, 8 years ago when he was younger. We change over time. For God's sakes, I've changed in the 5 years that we've been doing this. I'm probably going to become more bloody angry, but we are able to change. I just think that all these people, all these fucking soy drinking wankers have all gone, oh, well done, CW. No, not well done, CW. Fuck you, CW.
Everyone
because
knows
you are equally amount.
Everyone knows that when it comes to TV and that, the CW are pretty much fucking creatively and morally bankrupt. Yeah, they Batwoman. Batwoman's a great example for the CW. Yeah, I reckon that when it came to health and safety, they picked a diverse member rather than a qualified member, and that's why they had so many fucking accidents. Yeah,
possibly.
And that's bad because you want qualified people in positions like that. So instead of giving it to probably the 40-year-old man who's got fucking tons and tons of experience, who's done this left, right, and centre, they gave it to some fucking, I don't know, some ideological person. But anyway, I think we should move on to the next story.
Can we? Because you did mention that they're going after what's her face that plays
Danielle Panabaker.
Yeah, why are they going after her? Because I just don't get that one.
She's trying to ship Barry and Killer Frost together as a couple, but that means Barry's not dating a black woman, therefore she's racist.
Okay.
It's just stupid. It's just utterly fucking stupid. These people need to be rounded up, put into an arc marked with a big letter B and shot into space. There's a reference from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because you're not needed.
They could colonize Mars. That's a great idea. There you go. We need some Mars colonies.
Hang on a second.
Wankers to Mars.
Hang on a second. We'll use a catapult instead.
Yes.
Just their corpses hitting Mars.
Or we could just stick them in a metal canister, create a big fucking gun, fire it at Mars.
I'd hate to think if there were Martians there, that would be a cause for War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
why did the tripod creature things attack, Daddy? Well, we fired our SJWs at Mars and they weren't very fucking happy. They just wanted to be left alone to get on and live their lives in peace and watch their entertainment without political messages being crept in there in an overly heavy-handed fashion.
Martians were so pissed off of the SJWs. They attacked us.
They attacked us and so try to eradicate the entire human race. Anyway, for dumping their human effluence on Mars. Next story, because this one will.
Little Britain.
You can get me rolled again now.
Right, so Little Britain has been removed from Netflix and iPlayer due to offensive blackface characters. Now,
see, it's not that easy operating, is it, Nige?
That was Keith mucking around there. I didn't know what was going on.
Did you fuck around with him, Keith? He's in charge. He gets to press the buttons. Let the boy do his thing. Go, you boy.
No, that was me pressing all the buttons. Screwing up.
So they've been canned, essentially. These were done 2003, 2005. Little sketches, mostly taking the piss out of a lot of different things in the UK. Like Welsh people, the gay Welsh, I'm the only gay in the village one. Yeah? He's probably the most famous one.
That wasn't why they were... That wasn't why they were taken down.
No.
It's all right still
He's
to
just
be.
Keith, let him do his thing.
No, Keith. No. Stop it now. Yeah. So, there. They didn't just take the piss out of one particular demographic. They took the piss out of many. They were an equals opportunity offender. You know, they offended everybody and anybody. Nobody was off limits really. And back in 2003, 2005, it probably wasn't as scrutinized as it is now. But there were several sketches where they used blackface, and blackface nowadays is frowned upon. Really is frowned upon because
blackface.
No, but it's if you go back in history where you've got minstrels putting blackface on to entertain white folks. That was derogatory back then. But back then, they thought that was proper entertainment because that was the norm back then. We've now grown as a society, and it shouldn't be entertainment. But back when they did it, almost 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, it wasn't as bad as it is now. You know, just as a laugh. You didn't really think about anything like SJWs or anything like that, you know. They just took the piss out of whoever they wanted to take the piss out of.
The whole concept. Go on.
Right, hang on a second. Before we go into the story with any depth, we will have reached, total peak madness when they turn around and say that the SAS can't use boot polish to disguise their face. Well, it's blackface. It's just I can't fucking see us. I've got a black uniform on, a black face like that. It's not fucking black. I'm not sitting there doing a song and dance. That's when we'll know we've hit peak lunacy. But Little Britain was a comedy that was supposed to entertain people. And you and I talked yesterday after the fast food films about, what was his name? Keith Lemon? I can't remember the accent. The Avid Marion actor.
Lee Francis. Lee Francis.
And he was apologising for taking the piss out of Craig David and Scary Spice.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Michael Jackson as well. But see, he's making him smile. But the funny thing is, Craig David was on the show with him, and he didn't appear to be offended. I'm sure Scary Spice was on with him and wasn't offended either.
She appeared in a comic relief sketch with him, I think.
So why? I don't get this. Why because have you become overly sensitive?
Because you're universally not allowed to do blackface anymore, even when it's in context of a comedy. You just can't do it anymore. And it's utter bullshit because it's not racist. It's not racist. When you are taking the piss out of something that isn't racially motivated, it is not racist. You know, there should be guidelines around it because you have, you can compromise with it. But what Little Britain was doing wasn't racist. I mean, the airport thing has been taken down as well. The airport show that they did, it wasn't really a spin-off. It was that airport thing, which is amazing, right? But how are two white comedians meant to take the piss out of people at the airport? Because, whether you like it or not, most people that work at British airports are not white. Or certainly in the staffing side of things.
It's funny, they had one of the best, Come Fly With Me, which is the other one you're talking about, one of the best sketches ever, where it's like kind of the airport police have been called to a duty free where someone has got out of control, and there's this person and they're fucking absolutely hammered, and they tell him, say, come on, get yourself together. He goes, you'll miss your flight. And he goes, all right. So he puts his captain's hat and his captain's jacket on.
Yeah, I remember.
That makes me laugh thinking about it. And I despair because there's rumours that they're going to alter Splash Mountain at Disney because of racial connotations. And it's just, what the fuck's gone on? Have we been locked in too long?
I was going to do a tribute to Dave, but he isn't obviously watching at the moment because League of Gentlemen's been taken down purely for Papo Lazaro, who is one of my favourite comedics, certainly in the League of Gentlemen, because hello Dave, which I to this day love. But it's interesting because Mitchell and Webb did what to me is probably one of the most funny sketches, right? Where I can't remember the slightly tubbier one is dressed up in a full hill job, including the sort of face covering, right? And you've got the other guys interviewing him, and it is racially stereotypical. It's meant to be, right? It's meant to highlight racial stereotypes and through comedy, right? And then it's almost like the sketch ends, but the other one goes, "I don't think we're going to get away with this," and the other guy rips off the hijab, and he is full blackfaced, including the white circles. He goes, "Nah, mate, it'll be fine," like that, and then it walks off. And
that's not
it's
the
hilarious.
I remember that sketch because he did that, and he takes it off and goes, "Why are you wearing blackface?" He goes, "Did the makeup people do that?" So he goes, "No, I just do it every so often, because it makes me feel comfortable." It's a silly one, but the sensitivity is just it's getting on my tits.
I mean, they took off 40 Towers. The German. You heard that they took off 40 Towers, the German episode.
And
they're putting it back on again now with a warning. Why do I need to be? What I know what the Major says is wrong, but that's the whole point of Basil 40 ripping the piss.
Yeah, it is. I just find it madness because even if that's the case, it feels very 1984, where they destroy all the textbooks in the park, so the party can always be right. That terrifies me. It should just be left alone and said maybe from now on we don't do it. That would probably be more acceptable in my book. If they turn around and said, "Look, no, never, leave it. It's part of the past. If we don't realise the past is there, we can't move on." And it does feel scary because another show, which is in the next thing, has been around for 30 years and is watched primarily by inmates, we'll say, so they can observe their friends and family members being caught and harassed by the police. Nigel, would you like to see the next story? How long has Cops been around?
30 odd years.
Keith, you're going to change the.
Oh.
Jesus Christ! I'll let you two do it.
There we go. Right. So, Cops TV show has been around for 32 years. It is now being cancelled following George Floyd protests. Not something I've ever heard of.
You never heard of Cops?
Nope. Never.
Bad boys. What are you going to do? No?
I thought that was from the film Bad Boys.
No, because Bad Boys is referencing the TV show Cops.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing, because they're cops.
It's South Park. One of my favourite Cartman things is the cops episode of South Park, where Cartman first quotes "Respect my authority." They say Cartman pulls over on his little fucking cycle, pulls over Stan. He goes, "Clocked you at 40 miles an hour back there." And the guy and Stan goes, "It's a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit." He goes, "Sir, step out of the car." He goes, "What have I done?" "Step out of the car, please, sir." And then he proceeds to beat him. "Respect my authority." It's still one of the funniest episodes. It gets me every time. "Step out of the car, please, sir." It's brilliant. It's truly brilliant.
Just a point of observation, yeah? You'll hear people going on about systemic and structural racism in society, yeah? And the funny thing is that these people who complain are in Democrat-run areas, and they're referring to like kind of Democrat kind of people who are the people causing this. So not the Republicans. So my advice is vote Republican. I think they are. I think they're going to turn around. I think the normies who outnumber these fruit fucking cakes are going to start voting people out and then asking for things to be done.
It was. I mean, I think it was As on Hills versus Babyface. It was that was doing a video on the Lego thing that we covered last week, and he said that he wonders how long before some idiot puts out a petition to remove the police box from Doctor Who.
Oh, I think
absolutely, seriously, this petition now exists.
Good, do it. Just from the current series of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Madness.
Could they remove the current series of Doctor Who along with the post box? The place it was something decent.
The post box. That's what it's going to be. He's going to be a post box now, Keith. This post box is going to turn up, and they'll step out of the post box.
Literally, if we had an entire hour just looking at a post box instead of an episode of Doctor Who, we might be better. Better than the trash they're putting out at the moment. Yeah. Well, what's going on does have.
I'd just like to point out that my wife has sent this message. You're my wife now.
You're my wife now.
You know the worst thing is she's listening to us as we're recording this. I heard her burst into laughter downstairs.
Good. Yeah, I was once on. I have a story for you, and it's absolutely true. Me and my mate. I'll mention his name. His name was Russell, and we were in Staines, and I think it was what was the bar up on the near the McDonald's on that bit of the high street on that side. Had a full glass fronted window. Was it Slug? Was it?
It was no. It was. It's like the frog. It's Froggy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember.
It was the Toad.
Right, we were in there, right, and we were getting black-eyed, and suddenly this guy we hear this bang because we're by the window, and this guy is up against the window like this, right, and there's two coppers fucking shaking him down and doing the full arrest thing, and behind him is a camera crew, right? And me and my mate had 4 or 5 pints, and we're turning around and just going, bad boys, what you going to do? What you going to do when they go for you like that? About 6 months later, arrest was on one of those dodgy ITV cop shows, and it's me and my mate about going, bad boys.
Oh dear, Keith.
And the same case.
Yeah, the thing was, I wasn't the one that knew it. It was my dad that was watching it and phoned me up.
What have you been up to?
Like, what were you doing, you idiot? And how much had you had to drink? I was only about 19 at the time. I was proper blood-eyed. I was proper pissed. It's very rare that my dad's ever sees me that drunk. I'm just as a side note, I don't know if you can hear this, but we have got a major monsoon going on right now. So I apologise if it's coming through on the mic, but it's proper smoking down on the roof at the moment.
Okay.
I'm happy because I had a bet with my wife because I said it's going to piss it down tonight. And she was like, no, because I didn't want to water the garden. And I said, look, trust me, it's going to piss it down. I don't need to water the garden. It's pissing it down. Anyway.
It's okay. Nige, what we got next?
So, Batman. Let's have a chat about Batman. They've shown a concept Batman model, Keith, haven't they?
They have. There we go.
There you go.
I love that prompting. I love that general prompting. There, haven't they, Keith? Get out of the screen.
It's on the screen. It's on the screen. I was ready this time.
Zoom in a bit, mate.
Well done.
Let's have a look at it.
Yeah. So apparently the back of it, when you look at it at the back, it resembles a little bit like the bat with the wings out and the face in the middle and whatnot. So that's what they're trying to do anyway.
I
think it looks pretty good.
I think it looks like a bat with a ball gag in its mouth. It's a bit dodgy.
It looks like a I don't know, a Dodge Charger or something from the sides and the front. But then when you look at the back looks really good. I'm not knocking a Dodge Charger, but
it looks like a proto Batmobile. That's how I would describe it. Proto Batmobile.
They're going for the sort of muscle car look, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think the back of it looks quite cool. They had to do something a bit different. I mean, because you had what Nolan's Batman, where that was an awesome Batmobile, and then the what do you call it? The fucking Batflix Batmobile was kind of the love child of the Tumblr and the previous sort of Batmobile.
The Batmobile was the murder Batmobile. That Batmobile was designed for murdering people. Really, it was. It's totally fucking murder.
Yeah, it was.
Talking about murder, let's talk about the new Joker. What, you don't want to move? Is that not enough? Sorry. There's more to say about a little model.
Okay. No, so I was waiting for the screen to change as a prompt. Oh. You said that, and then I went, okay.
So there's a rumor that a new Joker is going to be introduced in the Batman universe. This is probably with the new guy. What's his name? Robert Pattinson. Something called Twilight.
This is Pattinson. Hello.
Pattinson. I'm going to make a prediction now, right? You're going to hear his laugh as the cutscene at the end of the movie, because they're talking about putting the Joker in because it's a trilogy of movies, and they're talking about the Joker coming in the second movie. So I'm going to make a prediction now that you will hear the Joker's laugh or some kind of Joker-esque sting at the end, but probably that laugh at the end. That'll be what it is.
If the new Batman thing is based around the Arkham Asylum story, you're going to have the Joker in there. He's not predominant in it because there's Suicide Squad and Batman are the predominant ones in it, but Joker is like in the background. Because if I remember, I can't remember the fucking comic book, but I can remember the cartoon special. The kind of animated special that they did, where the Joker had hidden something big inside Harley Quinn's mallet. So he'd broken in, and she thought it was hit. He was there to save her. No, he was after a fucking mallet because he hidden in like a nuke or something in it.
I mean, the rumor is that you might see, like what you just said, you might see hints of him in the first movie, but apparently he's intended for the second movie, unless they do like the whole thing is an Arkham Knight trilogy. But the rumor is that he's going to really turn up in the second one, because I mean they've already begun shooting. They've cast the Penguin, they've cast the Riddler, who I thought was quite interesting. I want to see them do a decent Riddler.
No, shit. The guy, I like the guy from Gotham, even though Gotham may have been a bit squiffy. The guy who played the Riddler in Gotham, I think was how I imagined seeing the Riddler. Just he needed something with a bit more meat to get his teeth into, and I'd have preferred him. Okay.
I'm cautiously interested in this, but when it comes, it comes. Because it was shooting and then it had to stop because of the beer bug. So who knows?
Yeah,
who knows when it's going to come? Anyway,
so Keith, shall we?
Yeah, Keith. Yeah, let's talk about this one.
Wild Stallions.
I haven't got. I'm up for this, but I've been looking forward to this. I mean, they've been talking about Bill and Ted 3 for the last 5 odd years. There's been rumors about it. I loved Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure. I liked the second one with Hell and Heaven. I loved What's His Face's death. That heavily influenced the South Park version, not South Park, the Family Guy version of death. And I've been up for this. I think it's cool. I think the idea behind it is great. People are bitching and moaning that they're way too old, which is Gareth is about to do, but that's kind of the joke. It's called Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's in the trailer where they basically say you were meant to sing the song that united the earth, and you get the hint that they've never grown up. So it's meant to be a bit sort of cheesy that 2 old guys are still playing the younger versions of themselves, because the movie is called Bill and Ted Face the Music. Go on, Nice.
And they do say in the trailer that you played in front of this many people when you were whatever year old, and now you're playing in front of 40 people down the social club. What the fuck have you done?
Who were there? Who were there for Taco Tuesday? That made me giggle.
Yeah. The thing is, right? For Bill and Ted, I thought the first film was okay, not really my sort of thing. The second film, completely forgot that even existed until you just mentioned it. So I thought this was number 2.
No.
Now this one, I'm about as interested in it as I was for number 2. So in order for me to understand what's going on number 3, I have to see number 2, which means I have to put some sort of interest in it. And I don't. In order for me to know what's going on in number 2, I have to watch number 1 again, which I haven't seen for, well, fucking probably when it came out. And I haven't been bothered about seeing it since. Not my sort of film. Although I understand.
Can I just say something? Before Gareth says what he wants to say, because he's sitting there ready for it. Gareth,
I'm winding up to it, man. I'm getting myself in the flow.
Gareth, can I just say that the universe has gone back to normal now. Nigel's doesn't know much about film, hasn't seen the sequel. Normality has resumed.
We should have asked you to join us for Con Air, knowing that you know something about Con Air night.
He knew more than we
Why
did.
did you put the bunny back in the bar?
All right.
Anyway, go on, Gareth. Go on, let rip.
Why the fuck do we need a sequel to that? It ended beautifully. Yeah, it ended. They fulfilled their destiny, and the world should have become a better place. Yeah, but now Keanu Reeves needs the beard because it makes him look old without it. The other guy, I can't remember his name. Sorry. He looks fucking old. There's like 2 really old guys. Oh, yeah, but it's supposed to be. No, it's not. It's a fucking shameless cash grab, you knob end, Keith. Yeah, it's quite obviously a cash grab. Yeah, they looked at Keanu Reeves and Keanu Reeves. Hang on a second. Oh, no. Oh. Right, they looked at Keanu Reeves. They looked at Keanu Reeves and they went, he's bankable because of John Wick, etc., etc., etc. Everyone seems to like Keanu Reeves. Let's find a film with Keanu Reeves' name on it. Oh, hang on a second. There's this crap script that we rejected several fucking times for the Bill and Ted 3rd fucking film. I'm sorry, it looks like a shameless cash grab. And Keanu Reeves and the other guy look really fucking old. And you haven't got what's his mush in there. The guy who played Rufus because he died.
I remember Rufus.
Yeah, Carlin, George Carlin.
The guy who played. Then got George Carlin in there, so it's going to be a bit iffy. And the long and short of it is they've ruined it. It was fine where it was. It didn't need to go any further. It was fine. It didn't need touching. It had wrapped itself up nice and neatly, put itself in a package, put a little ring bell on it, and said, "There you go, we're done." Yeah, but no, because of Hollywood cannot fucking create anything new and refuses to take risks. Yeah, unless it's fucking Chris Nolan, you're not going to get original films and pictures because they don't want to do this. It's totally cynical to release this. I'm sorry to say, you might enjoy it, it might be good, but it's completely unnecessary. It's like a sequel to Casablanca. We don't need a sequel to Casablanca. The Dam Busters. What was the sequel to Casablanca?
They made a TV series. It was the worst TV series ever. It got cancelled after 4
there
episodes.
You go.
But it exists. It exists.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like remaking Total Recall and RoboCop. It's just not fucking needed. Some of those 2 films are the best films ever fucking made. And on that,
I'm waiting for them to remake Predator.
They did remake Predator several times. They did. They had Predator 1 and 2, which were fantastic. The second one gets a lot maligned, yeah, but it's still a really good film as far as I'm concerned. It went in the same vein, kept roughly the same beats as the other ones, done really well. Bill Paxton gets killed by the Predator so he can get his triple fucking been killed by all the movie monsters bonus. Yeah. Then they made they did the Alien vs Predator films. We'll ignore them. Then they made Predators. Predators was Robert Rodriguez. He was a guy who says if he's making a film, he's probably made it by the time he's told you about it because he's that quick. So Robert Rodriguez did Predators, and then they did The Predator, which was done by Shane Black, who ironically was in the first Predator film as the guy with the big glasses who gets killed first out of their entire crew.
Have you seen The Predator?
I've seen Mauler's coverage of it and Critical Drinker's coverage of it, and that was enough. So you know the funny thing is, I sailed the high seas for it, and I didn't want to watch it. I downloaded it and I went delete. Yeah,
I have watched it. It's not great. There are some moments in it, but it's not great.
Yeah, but it's not.
Great.
It was. You can make another Predator film, but the trick with if you want to make another Predator film, this is what I would do with another Predator film. I would have it in the Aliens universe, so the Predators against Space Marines from the Aliens universe. No aliens though. So the Marines get called to a planet where they're having some kind of conflict to try and sort it out. They get caught in the middle of a fight. The fucking Predator turns up with all the technology and stuff in that. What fun could you have? So
it's a good idea. It's a good idea.
That's what I would do. But that's me. So
Gareth has been Nigel. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something. He does this to me so many times. Nigel, you got another story? I mean, I can mute the fucker. I can kick him off. He's been chomping at the bit to talk about this because I don't know, some insignificant fucking thing happened on Thursday. Some thing.
Some PS5 event or whatever it was happened during the week. It was put off from the other week. It was put back a week, I think. About a week.
It was put back a week, yeah.
So,
so
the man who has been chomping at the bit can go ahead and talk about it now. You know, I won't labour the point or anything, Gareth, or keep you in delay any longer.
Or mute him. Or mute him.
Fuck off, Fuck off, you two tarts. All right. I hope to God that you've gone to toilet. Okay. I really hope you've gone to toilet because I'm about to bust into one now. So the PlayStation event was supposed to happen last weekend. Nigel, I said, do you want to do the coverage of it? Because, you know, E3 not being on and anything like that. And Nigel was like, yes. And then got cancelled. And that fucked Nigel over completely. So I watched it whilst catching Pokemon because I'm that sad. And they had some interesting things in it. They opened it up and they had the little kind of, do you remember the 90s when we released the PS4 to now where everything is awesome? We're about to make things more awesome in here. Yeah. So they started off and they and it was very, how can I put it politely, very corporate, very controlled. They had canned gameplay in there, and I've lost my bloody thing now. So they showed off the Miles Morales Spider-Man, which I'll bring up here. So they showed off the Miles Morales Spider-Man thing, which looked awesome, but had me worried. Because it had me worried because it was like, given the current situation that we're in, I hate to say this, the lack of white male protagonists seems to have vanished because I don't think there was a single one in this entire show. And I was worried that, how can I put it, that they had got rid of Peter Parker from the Spider-Man universe. But luckily for us, Insomniac came out and they told me, no, and this is important, Keith, this is a standalone Spider-Man game. It's not the next one in the sequence. It is just one on its own because we realised you love Spider-Man. We have the big map of New York. We can put all this stuff in. We can put Miles Morales in and everything. And it looks ridiculously good. I don't know if it's going to be on the PS4 as well. Because the impression they kind of gave was the fact that they hadn't built a new engine. They just kind of tweaked the current engine. And then they put in, what do you call it? They put in Miles Morales in these new missions. So the Spider-Man game looked fantastic beforehand. But this looks, it looks like they've tuned it up. And, dude, they can fucking nail a Spider-Man game properly. That one's...
this if this game is any good, then I'm going to have to buy a PS5. No, because I fucking love Spider-Man on the PS4. It's one of the best. But before we go on to the next game, can we actually just talk about what it looks like? Because I think it's the sexiest fucking console ever.
No, we saved that for the end, you dipshit.
Okay.
Yeah. So we saved that for the end. Okay, we're just going to go through some of these things. Nigel put some notes down, and I'm going roughly around the notes. But yeah, they opened up the Spider-Man game. Looked absolutely fantastic. It was quite a good opener to do with him. Lots of people were quite happy for it. And I've lost my notes. Shite.
I quite like the Spider-Man game that they put out already. The current one, I quite like it. I'm getting there. I'm at 90% now. When I do have time, I do play that. Especially now I've finished that Call of Duty World War II that we got for free this month. I've done the campaign on that. I'm not interested in the multiplayer. You know, everyone fucking cheats on that game because I can't fucking play properly in the controller. So now that's going to get deleted because fuck me, it takes up about 80 gigabytes of space.
Fuck it, right. Call of Duty multiplayer thing that they've got takes up 120 gigs worth of space. For what? You fuck off. I'm not having that. Anyway, the other game that they then showed off later on down the line is probably one that Nigel appreciate, and it was Gran Turismo 7. Now,
yes,
fuck you, helicopter. Fuck you very much.
This looks good, doesn't it? Nice.
Don't they know you're doing a podcast? God damn it!
Yeah, I've got a fucking sign on the roof saying "podcast, please don't fly over." So yeah, they did the Gran Turismo 7. It's a bit weird because I mean, Nigel and I were talking about the Gran Turismo game on the PS4, the sport version. I liked it because I got the VR part of it and it was fun. But the actual game wasn't the same as it was before when you had your garage and you started off with your Toyota Yaris, and then you got to the Skyline, and the Skyline could do most of the heavy lifting until you needed like specialized cars. So you needed your Formula One car and your aspirated and your non-aspirated and
all of these things. Your standard car to get better and better and better until you can take on better races and better cars. And I like the progression of it. It isn't immediately easy. You can win the races, but you haven't. When you first start, you can win the races, but you haven't got enough money from winning the races to immediately go to the next level. You've got to win them a few more times, and that will hone your skills a little bit more by winning that and earning the cash to then buy a car or upgrade it enough to go into the higher level races. But that's not really in sport. Although Gran Turismo Sport, they did eventually bring in campaign where they brought in the races from the previous games. It wasn't a proper campaign mode, which is why I haven't bought it and never played it. One thing about this new one, GT7, is the guy said we're going back to our roots, and from the very first GT, that essentially is what we're talking about, is where you've got your garage, you've got your shit little car that you've bought for $15,000 or whatever, or credits, whatever they do, and you race that fucker to get enough money to upgrade it enough to then go to the next bit, and then everything starts opening up for you. And that's what hopefully they're doing.
I did kind of like that because it was like kind of, dude, we fucked up. That's what that said to me. Dude, we fucked up.
Did you play it with a wheel? Sorry, I was going to say, did you play it with a wheel?
I did in the Mercedes Worlds place, because they've got on the PlayStation. I don't know if it's the 3 or 4, and you can play with the wheel. That's the only place I've played with the wheel.
Yeah, I've heard playing with the wheel makes it even better, but I've never played with the wheel. It's always been the controller.
I had that original one that you talk about, where it was quite simple, but I heard that they got a bit too overcomplicated as the games. As you know, versions went on.
I do find this weird because when you look at it's pretty much Gran Turismo and Forza. Everything else is kind of in between. You've got Project Cars and the Formula One games and whatnot, but because they've not got as much stuff in, they're not as big as Forza or Gran Turismo. And I'll be honest with you, both look fantastic. Both look amazing. I've played the latest Forza because it's on the Games Pass. I enjoyed that. I really need something to play with. I probably would have enjoyed it more. But these are good. I think if you're an Xbox person, I don't think you need to worry about missing out on Gran Turismo 7 because you've got Forza. And same if you're on a PlayStation, you don't have to worry about missing out on Forza because you've got Gran Turismo, which is a good thing. That way. Yeah, it is.
Which one featured the Top Gear track? Because one of them features the Top Gear track.
Both of them featured the Top Gear track. The PlayStation 3 version of Gran Turismo had the Top Gear track on it first, and then the Forza one had it after. But I think the Forza one also had commentary from Jeremy Clarkson on, if I remember correctly. Because he actually featured Gran Turismo on one of the Top Gears, which is the Laguna Sec track, with that dip that goes down like that, which is horrible. It's hard enough doing that on a video game, let it doing it on bloody with a car. Yeah, because it's literally just like you draw a line like this, but it kind of curves and snakes down. So you have to like pretty much put the brakes on and just roll it down.
You go up a hill, left, down, and then right gradually out. I think it's really tricky to do.
I think it's a bit sharper than that, Nigel. I think it's left in, left, and then right out almost immediately. Yeah,
it is it's a corkscrew basically.
Yeah. So we got that game, and then we got another game because there was weird. Some of the games kind of just blew past you, and you were like, yeah, whatever. Most of them are indie games. Most of them I describe as having what I refer to as neon vomit, where the game is just like loads of neon colors and they make you want to vomit. It's like someone looked at Tron Legacy and went, "That's the color. That's what we want." Yeah, but they forgot to balance the fucking color schemes out like they did in Tron Legacy. But Nige pointed this game out, which I originally thought was a Hideo Kojima game, and Nige thought it was a Hideo Kojima game too. This was it's called Pragmata, and it's a bit of a weird one because it looks like it's set into like a simulation. So you've got this guy here, and he's wandering around, and he looks like the guy who does the flag on the moon at the beginning of Death Stranding for the title thing for the Kojima Productions. And it's done. Is it done with Capcom?
I put it in the notes. I can't remember.
But long and short of it, he looks like he's backed up by a little android girl.
Capcom.
Yeah. He looks like he's backed up by a little android girl, and
so.
What was the moon then? Was the moon
maybe what happened?
It's some weird simulation thing. I think Nigel's internet's gone.
The shot of the moon there looked like it had clouds and stuff. Has the moon been terraformed or something?
I don't know. That's the thing. This is one of those games like with. I think they went to the Death Stranding School of Marketing, where they went, "Let's keep it as fucking cryptic as we can, boys." Yeah, because you've got that creepy, like holographic cat thing. So it looks like a cyborg creature thing, and then whatever it's like a hologram. You know what I mean? It's like they've got projection of the moon and stuff, and then it projects, and then the satellite falls through the. I'm assuming what's top of like an atmospheric dome thing, and then it's like kind of we'll come up with ways of like kind of dealing and coping with this. So you've got this fires like a weird green net thing to try and slow it down or protect them, and it doesn't quite work. But it does make you go, "What the fuck's going on here?" Maybe it's a dome on the moon. Maybe they're on the moon, and there's something wrong on the moon, and they want to get back to Earth because they're trying to fix whatever is wrong on Earth by fixing it on the moon. I don't know.
Just to let you know, I am having some internet issues. I'm not with Virgin Media. Thank fuck for that. But I am with.
That's the thing about internet issues. Not Virgin Media, bro. And you're not with Talk.
Sky. Sky's been having issues since lockdown, really, but I haven't been affected. But last few minutes, I've been a bit behind you guys. So if you lose me, you lose me.
It makes a change that it's not me for once. It's fucking hammering it at the moment. It is.
Yeah.
I know.
So, I know this is in the notes.
So
Sorry, Keith. Your internet went.
So yeah, that one looks.
Keith, your internet's going, mate. What was that?
You're not funny. But I realised Nigel was delayed, and then he started talking, so I shut up.
And then he shut up to let you talk.
Say something. Sorry, Nigel. I wasn't talking over you.
No, I'm probably talking over you guys because I'm a bit delayed to you guys because of shit internet. So, no, I quite like the idea that it's a brand new IP and not just simply going on the coattails of previous IPs like lots of people are doing. Although Gran Turismo 7 is basically riding on the coattails, it's not in a sense because you can't. New cars are coming out all the time, and they're making new tracks available all the time, and the gameplay experience they can build on. Whereby Call of Duty, for example, is literally riding on the coattail of Call of Duty, rather than making a brand new IP.
Hang on a second. Could you imagine that the tasteless people at Activision would always bring out new Call of Duty after there was some big conflict somewhere? Yeah, there's a big war in the Congo, so there's Call of Duty Congo 2020. Could you imagine how tasteless and horrible that would be? That every time it's like kind of it's the anniversary of the Second World War, so now we'll bring the Second World War out just to go in line with the marketing. It's like kind of bought Poppy, now buy a copy of Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, I won't actually say it, but Call of Duty, let's say Beer Bug 2020, where you control somebody sitting down in front of the TV playing Fortnite. Let's beat that virus.
I hate Fortnite. That's one I really, really don't like.
Yeah.
And then
what else have we got? Okay.
We also got Sackboy. And it's weird because I saw Sackboy, and I know you like Sackboy, Keith, because
I do. My wife has Sackboy next to her bed. I've got a little sort of original sort of proper Sackboy.
It's weird because it's not Little Big Planet, and I like the way they show off the fact that they've got all the fur and stuff on this. They're going out of their way to show that they can simulate fur properly, including the speculative and whatever it is lighting on it. And then you get Sackboy. Woo-hoo.
It's Sackboy's. It's a Sackboy platformer.
Yeah,
I'm up for this.
The weird thing is, was it made in dreams?
We used to play it together, didn't we, Gareth? And we used to make levels and
we played some iffy levels. I remember. I don't know if I played it with you, but ones with like they had like political messaging at the beginning of it. I'm just like, what?
I used to make levels in order to get as many achievements or trophies as you can in one level in the easiest way.
Yes, yeah, that was because you were making games so you could get trophies.
Yeah, so I just made a level to do that.
Yeah, so I remember.
I don't know about this.
I don't think this is. I wouldn't buy this full price. I would like this as a PS.
I might.
Game, maybe.
I might, because I think this. To me, this I liked the sort of predefined levels on Little Big Planet, and I used to like playing it, and I love the character. I just love the character, so I might. I'm kind of excited for it. It might be a game that I get, but if it's bundled in with the PS5, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah,
if it's a bundled game.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. So then they did Ratchet and Clank, and they showed off some bits. Where the hell is my Ratchet and Clank tab? Okay, I've got rid of it. But they showed off Ratchet and Clank, and the Ratchet and Clank that they were demonstrating, I think, is probably the best way of saying it. How well the new hard drive performs, and it looks more like a demo of the hard drive, the performance of the hard drive than anything else, where it can load up stuff where it's the hard drive getting to the point it's practically RAM. So yeah, got Insomniac Games, blah blah blah. Right, so you got the game here, and it's like, oh look, and it's good. And the other thing, in comparison to not Sega, in comparison to Xbox, they actually showed off gameplay. It was canned gameplay, I'll have you know, but it was gameplay. And they were showing it off, and he gets this bit here. Where is it? This bit where he starts jumping through universes. So he starts getting attacked by this thing, and then there you go. And it's like, I'll be honest with you, you can get that stuff on the PS4 now, but you can't get the jumping between levels like that. That's the bit you can't get at the moment. That's what I think. It's just like they're showing it off tech demo style.
Yeah,
And
they did a
I
lot of
hadn't
that.
seen
didn't
it. I hadn't seen this. This looks amazing.
We got a Ratchet and Clank game for free on PS Plus not too long ago.
It sounded like you said batshit and clank.
Yeah, I thought you said that as well.
My short internet.
Yeah, sorry.
I gave it a good go. You know, I want whenever we get something from PS Plus, I always give it a shot. I don't dismiss it immediately. And I must have played it for a couple of hours and realised, yeah, it's not for me. Don't like it. Not my sort of game at all. This is certainly going to be a game that I will be skipping.
Why? Why don't you like it?
I just don't like it. Doesn't interest me. Too childish. I don't like that sort of graphics.
Well, it's not graphics, it's more presentation.
The graphics presentation. All right, the mechanics seem great. However, that sort of graphics reminds me of Fortnite. And Fortnite, I despise.
Oh, no. The graphics on Fortnite is shit compared to that. That stuff is more it's closer to Pixar than Fortnite.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I mean, I can't put my finger. Sometimes you just don't like a game. Yeah, I know. I gave it a go to give it a shot, and I felt like I was forcing myself to play it. And if you're feeling like that when you're playing a game, you might as well just delete it.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Okay, so then we got the Horizon. They ended it with Horizon Zero Dawn 2, Forbidden West or East. I can't remember. And it's weird because there's a game called Odyssey, Go to the West or something along those lines. It's got Andy Serkis in it. Kind of reminded me of that with the broken buildings and the trees and shit growing over it. But it looks. This looks canned stuff. So
it's your standard canned gameplay for a trailer.
Yeah, it's annoying because you want actual gameplay. But if they're using assets from the actual game, because I think that's probably the case, it looks fairly good.
It does. It does look interesting, but the first game was very good, very, very good. So if they build on it and improve on it, don't tweak too much, then I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be just as good as the first, if not better. But be interesting to see more gameplay.
I do find it funny because the Aloy character, whatever her name was, Eloy character from the first game, I found a bit annoying because you always had the "What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" Not a bit, and it didn't really go outside that. It wasn't like I'm getting frustrated. Would someone tell me what the fuck's happening, kind of thing? Yeah, where am I going to find answers? Tell me. Yeah, just like a mouth breather. The game was really good though. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was fighting Transformers more than robots that were trying to fix the environment. It did, especially the big ones. You got the giant fucking ones that I love taking down there. I can't remember that Thunder Claws or whatever. So she looks like she goes. If it's set in China.
I played it for a number of hours. Mostly exploring, but get out of the village. You do the trials with the village, and you get out of the village, and then you start moving around, and then you get to the point where you go. I think it's through a big door into another area that opens up even more. And I got to that point, and I wanted to carry on playing, but more games came out, and I just sort of got squirrel and started playing. Eventually, it got removed from my hard drive, but it's a game that I really want to go back to.
I like that actor. I can't remember his name. But he's going to be the bad guy in it because there's these giant machines that make these other machines, which then consume all the fucking organic matter in order to power themselves. And you should have played it, Nige. You should have played it because it was a good game.
I will be going back to it.
It had a reasonably good narrative in it. It's about these. There was like a set of AIs, and the AIs were trying to rebuild the society and whatnot. But you had a guardian one that went out of control. Because someone hijacked it. It was good. And it's like, look, giant mechanical elephants.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it, especially when you find a little cavern underground and you go in there and you see the old 1,000-year-old tech, like city scrapers and all that sort of stuff underground, and that was really cool. And she's got a little earpiece thing that she uses to scan, and she picked it up. It's really, really good. I will be going back to that game.
Yeah, it's you need to go back. I was thinking about getting the expansion pack for because I'm running out. I've run out of fucking stuff to play. To be honest with you, well, stuff that I want to play. Sorry, I mean I've got plenty of stuff to play, but the other stuff I don't want to play, and I can't find Resident Evil. Where are you, Resident Evil?
Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8.
There it is, Resident Evil Village. Yeah, this one here I was watching with the wife when it came up, and we were desperately trying. I was desperately thinking. I was going Silent Hill. Be Silent Hill, be Silent Hill. And then when it started showing puzzle pieces, I was like, oh, it's not Silent Hill, it's Resident Evil. And then it came up and went, Village. I went, oh, I wonder why it's not Resident Evil. And then it turned into Resident Evil. And I went, oh, thank fuck for that. Because it was one of those ones I was trying to predict what was happening, but it wasn't quite going down. So it's the classic old man in a hut kind of thing.
I don't know. I might just watch you play it because it's not my cup of tea. Never liked Silent Hills, never, and I doubt I ever will. But I might watch you play it to see if it piques my interest.
Mm.
But until it piques my interest, I'm not going to spend a single penny on it.
Okay.
For me. But as far as I know, you love this sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's like kind of old man getting attacked by a werewolf. I think your character gets infected with a virus that turns them into werewolves, and I think that's what the story's going to be about in it. It's going to be saying, hey, we've got wolf virus or something lunar. It's going to be on both platforms, so I don't think there's much to miss out. This is where I started. When I started seeing all this shit, I was like, it's Resident Evil, because these are like the Resident Evil kind of trope for the puzzle bits, and it looked very Resident Evil 4 for Leon's kind of mission in Spain. And it was pretty good. And then you kind of go through all the things, and it's like, okay, and then
Certainly
it's the end. And this is the bit that got me, because it was like kind of, it's Resident Evil, because I was thinking something like Resident Evil, and this came up, and I was like, oh, it's not Resident Evil. I was like, it's The Village. Okay, all right, well, that indie game that looks promising, and then it went dump and did that. Resident Evil 8. The Village of the Dead. And that looked pretty fucking.
I think it's interesting twist if they take it down like werewolf kind of territory.
Yeah, if you see the werewolf thing as a virus.
It's a clever idea.
So
clever idea. I might be. You might have to live stream that, and me and Nigel watch you.
We're not going to buy it, or have you buy it.
We'll have you buy it because it's your kind of game. And then you make hugely entertaining videos where you shit your pants, which is just funny.
Double fuck. Who was it I was speaking to? I was listening to someone famous, and they used the term double fuck. And I was supposed to needed to capture it and send it to you guys and say, I came up with double fuck first. Because double fuck is my thing.
Bastards.
Stealing bastards.
Dirty stealing bastards.
Dirty stealing bastards. Yeah, so now I've got to find Hitman. I saw it a moment ago.
Hitman 3, was it?
Yeah, Hitman 3, but that's Hitman 3 of this run, not Hitman 3 in general. Because I think there's been about 9
Hitman games.
It's been loads.
It's really loads. All right, hang on a second. We're going to Hitman. I want to show you this one here, yeah, because this one here looks fucking terrible. And because it looks terrible, yeah.
Oh, God. As soon as I was watching this after the event, so I could skip
it. Like a 1980s cartoon.
It looks so. It's an SJW thing, isn't it? This is going to be terms of social justice, and it'll include racism, prejudice towards people of certain sexual thingies. But on the bright side, it'll end like Bladefoot does, and they'll all die due to volcano or meteor impact. Which I'm hoping. And it's just like I want to know why PlayStation, but I know why they did, because it's Pride Month, and they wanted to show this because it looks fucking terrible. Sorry.
Did you find Hitman 3?
I'm looking for Hitman. If you find Hitman 3, that's great. But I thought I'd bring this up because it's not on the show notes, and it does look like a shit cartoon. And I'm like, why would you put this in your presentation?
I deliberately didn't put trash on there.
No, that's fine. It was one of those ones that I want people to scratch their head out and go, why? Why would you do this? What's wrong with you people? So if you found Hitman 3, that'd be great. Ironically, we're coming up in our own feed, which is fantastic. So where's Hitman 3? They've added new stuff to this. It's now fucking Hitman 3 announcement. Try to find it. All right, it's all right. I think they took it off and put it back up. But yeah, you got Hitman 3 that came out, and he's chatting away. He seems very chatty for Hitman. I don't know if it's him talking, but it kind of gives me the impression that Hitman is talking, where he's supposed to be more your silent protagonist, strangle someone kind of thing. The game looks okay. It doesn't look groundbreaking. That's the thing, is that there weren't many games that I would go, oh, this is groundbreaking. Look at how amazing this looks. Yeah. So you got the Hitman. Yeah, look, he's chatty. He's a chatty fuck. He gave him a gob and now he won't fucking shut up. So he looks like he's tracking down his previous person who helped him kill other people, and he's finally caught up. And it's going to be interesting for those who like the Hitman games, because it kind of looks like they're going to maybe finish a certain thing off. But it's good. Hitman was good. What was the other one? Oh, there's this one here I like the look of. This one's called Ghostwire. I thought it was virtual reality at first, and it's the content ID system that YouTube's going to fucking mental at us. It's set in Tokyo. Yeah.
They curiously didn't mention VR at all, did they?
No, they
I
didn't.
didn't see the trailer to this.
But this looks mad.
Yeah, this is I mentioned to you, Gareth, on the phone. It's almost like this is made by a studio in Tokyo, and they've taken inspiration from the guy who made Metal Gear. What's his name? Hideo Kojima or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because he's nuts, and they've made this game going, yeah, that's a bit nuts.
Yeah, he is. I suppose he's a pretty big influence, but it does look VR-ish, and I don't know how canned this gameplay is opposed to having real gameplay, but yeah, it looks interesting. That you go around Tokyo. I'm hoping it's open world. You get to go around and you get to hunt down these ghosts and bits, which I think would be quite good. But this looks interesting. I want to know because it's like, think of it as like Ghostbusters, but you're Ghostbuster on your own. And it's weird because you've got like Slender Man here with the umbrella. You're fighting, which again it looks interesting. So you got that, and I was like, it's very very Japanese in the style that it portrays for the ghosts and bits. Then you had
the animation style is very Japanese, very anime.
Yes. So
I don't mind JRPGs, but that's not a JRPG.
That's more JRP action. So the other one we got, this is the one that made me smile because when I saw it, especially when it came towards the end, I went, And I'll see if I'll let you watch it, and then we'll get to the bit towards the end, and you'll go,
yeah. This
wait till the end though. All right, so we've got this game here, and this looks very. This bit here looks very Lord of the Rings.
It did.
This bit here reminds me of the town on the river that they were fighting at. Sorry, Nudge.
Yeah, sorry. I'm a bit behind you guys. I think it's a new IP from Square Enix.
I think it's Scalextrics.
Scalextrics.
Scalextrics have brought out a new game, but this one, Project Athea.
It's a working title apparently.
Yes, it is a
Might
working
not
title.
Name that when it comes out,
but
for sure, I'm on board because it looks my sort of game, and it looks like it's a new IP, of course, so it's something new and fresh. So I like that.
Okay.
To start with,
let me show you something here. This bit here is the bit that made me go, Does that remind you of something? Just that bit there, which is jumping.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
No, remember that game demo that they showed off for the Unreal Engine 5? And at the end,
yes.
yeah,
a little bit.
So it looks like that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that's the bit that made me go, that's interesting. Wonder if this Project Athea might have something to do with that. And it might do, it might not do. It may be the fact that this Square Enix went to Square Enix went to Unreal and asked him for help with game engine, because that might be something, and they shared their tech, which looks fantastic. That was Project Athea. And then there was.
That's what I'm interested in seeing. I'm interested in seeing the other new IP that we talked about with the Space Child and Robot.
Space Child. That's what it should be called. Nigel's redubbed your project. All that effort, all those millions of dollars that you plugged into your thingy, and Nigel's relabeled it Space Child.
Beautiful.
That actually sounds quite interesting.
I could have given it to them for free.
Put Nigel marketing
as well. Yeah. So there's only 3 games at the moment.
And then there was
4 Miles Morales as well. So 4 games that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
That they've showcased. I'm sure there's going to be many more. But Demon Souls, again, despise Demon Souls.
Some people love it, and because it's done with Blue Point, I think it's a redo of it.
It's a remake of the first game, I believe.
This stuff looked, all the games that they showed off that did through the presentation. The presentation was done. It was done well because it didn't make many mistakes. That's the best way of describing it. It wasn't. They didn't hit lots of high points, but they didn't make any mistakes like they did with the Xbox presentation. And then I watched the PC Gamer reveal, which was fucking awful. They had a few things on there. One of the things they had on there was Everspace 2 or 3, I can't remember, and the add-on for Elite Dangerous. Only things I was interested in. Everything else was shit. I wound up turning it off halfway through. I watched a good hour of it, and I'm just like it was like slow torture. Then I watched the Future Games reveal, which was better, and they had some better games in there that they were showing off. Some of them were already in the PlayStation presentation. But it's this is like, I'm hoping. So there's no graphics here, but I'm hoping that this is representative of what you're going to get, given everything that's going on. Maybe we'll get a few jaggies. But
It was very cinematic.
It is very cinematic. So we got that. We got the Ghost Wire. We did Volcano. Oh, this is the one I was watching. And it got dubbed. This one got dubbed Karen in Space. It looks interesting. It looks like trust me. If you watch the trailer, you'd understand. It looks like the add-on to what was the game Prey, where they had the one where you just die and repeat, and you have to get you have to complete the game right without dying and rescue everyone. But the idea is that this woman goes to a planet, she crashes. She gets killed she gets chased by something, she gets killed by it, and then she goes through the whole thing again. But when you look at it, it does look like she's looking for the manager. It's a Space Karen. It's like, there we go. Oh, damn. And she's got weird eyes like Anthony Head's got. He's got one brown, one blue eye.
You know, as soon as she woke up there, she was looking up going, "Where's your manager?
Where's the manager? Show me the manager. Show me the manager now."
To someone.
But it looks like a mystery. It looks entertaining-ish. But you have to remember that all these first-gen games that come out on consoles, even though they've purposely gone out of their way to make the PS5 and I imagine the Xbox easier to develop for each generation, it's a little worrying when it comes to these games things. But let me just switch off Space Karen. But that was interesting. She's Space Karen. Sorry. Space Karen. Karen's in space. But all this stuff looks, I'm like kind of absolutely fascinated by it. I watched it on the TV. I put it on the TV in the end so I could watch it. And now, because I thought they wouldn't do this. I really thought they wouldn't do this. Oh, crap. Shit. I just closed down a bookmark I didn't want to close down. I'll have to reopen it up. But then they got to the end And it was a bit weird because I was watching this bit at the end, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because Sony wanted to play with their balls for a good fucking 2 minutes before anything happened.
I did skip a lot.
This was like kind of like fuck me. Okay, all right, I get it. If it was just like 1, 2, 3, and counting down or something, and then it was like kind of, and then you're like, oh, it's going to reveal now when it opens up, and no, it doesn't. They're still playing with the balls, and they're still playing with the balls, and then they're still playing with the balls, and then the balls go away, and then you start getting it, and it was like a shade cryptically. They could have opened with the cryptic view like this and would have been happy, and then they show you. The PS5.
To be fair, it looks a bit like Saruman's eye looking over Mordor.
No, it looks like the guy who was supposed to be him because there was like I don't know if it was an orc or a human with a helmet like that. I know what you're talking about, but it looks like if Apple decided.
Saruman's eye, the two things like that, and the eye sort of. That's my impression of Saruman's eye. By the way.
I think it looks very, very Sony. I mean, I've been following Sony from a design perspective for years. I like how Sony design their products. And people seem to be very anti this. I think the thing looks fucking incredible. It's sexy. It's quite minimalist. It's got blue lights. Therefore, I am biased.
My argument is this, it is too big to fit under my bloody television. That's my biggest problem with it. It's the same with the fucking Xbox dehumidifier. It's too big to put it under there. It's just going to cook. It's going to cook my shelf and the console itself.
But it is a product designed to be looked at. I mean, people are comparing it to internet routers and things like that. I mean, okay, but internet routers used to be boring grey boxes, and the likes of BT design and Virgin Media, you can slag them off all you like. They started designing good-looking routers. I like, I compared the controller. Kind of reminded me of that Tom Cruise future movie that had that sort of black, Oblivion tech, and I think this thing looks very similar. I love it. I love the look of it. I think it looks great. I think it's the best looking console Sony's ever built. I know that I'm apparently in the minority, but I think it looks fucking awesome. I love it.
I can see both sides of it, right?
My
I really do like the way it looks. Do. But I understand when you're playing a game, you're not looking at the console.
Fuck off, Nigel.
Yeah, I know.
You stole that from me. That was the conversation we were having on the phone the other day. It was
maybe, but
because we weren't looking at it. You fucking.
I agree.
Git.
And I said it, so it's I thought.
That's what I was going to say. I can't do a Greta Thunberg. How dare you? Very well.
So, Gareth is right. Gareth is right. What I said is correct. No, I think it's right. But then you consider the Xbox fridge, or the Xbox bin.
Oh, it looks.
Sorry.
I'm not joking. When that Xbox does look good as a fridge. When they showed it in the kitchen, mock-up of it in the kitchen, I was like, dude, I would buy that as a fridge because that goes quite well.
Xbox showed a picture of a fridge with dimensions next to it, and the Xbox One going, it's not quite the size of the fridge. They put dimensions next to it as a scale, but the thing is, it's the shape of it and the size of it compared to the previous generations of Xbox. Yeah, it's much, much bigger. But then so is the Sony.
The Sony one is probably the tallest console that's ever existed.
It's bigger than the Xbox. It's not as wide, but
the reason for that is the same with the way the Xbox built like it is, where it's like it looks like a dehumidifier because it is working on the idea of sucking in cold air and then blowing out at the top hot air. And they've done a similar thing with the PlayStation, where they've probably got it so it sucks in cold air from the top and blows out hot air from it. So putting it in a unit where you've got like a lid that goes over the top, it's going to be a bad idea for both consoles.
But it does have the ability to lie on its side. I've seen it pictured lying on its side, officially from Sony.
Yeah.
But
people speculating.
I was going to say, I think it's striking. I don't understand why people don't like it. I think white, black, and blue lights goes really well together. I think it looks pretty cool. I really do not understand people's animosity towards it.
It
I
looks
really
like
don't.
the electric BMW.
Oh,
really cool.
Yeah, but that looks good, and that won loads of design awards. I just don't understand why people don't like it. I think it looks really good. I don't get it.
I'd like to put on record that the BMW i8, the hybrid electric car, looks amazing. I love it, and I drove one of those for one of my experience days, and it is amazing. I drove that one, and I drove the Audi R8 as well. Audi R8 being my favourite ever car at the moment, that I would love to own. Second in line is the BMW i8.
It's a fucking fantastic looking car.
It is gorgeous. It drives really well, and despite all that,
I think
you like it. I really do like the way the PS5 looks. I really, really do, and I don't mind how the Xbox looks as long as I don't get this fucking fan noise that
I'll tell you what.
I think both sets of consoles have gone around designing that fan thing, because my Xbox One doesn't do it as much as my original PS4 did, but it does go quite loud every so often.
I will say one thing about the Xbox. It's a box. It's definitely a box this time. It's definitely a box.
Definitely a box.
Who's on the tin?
On the bright side, it's easy to package up and send out.
It's going to be an interesting few months, I think. But I would admit that on its looks alone, I'd buy a PS5, and I kind of want that Miles Morales game. I don't know how I'm going to afford it, but I might just have to hide it.
Yeah.
It's my PS4, darling. It's the same console, love. Don't know what you're talking about. It's always looked like that.
Keith, they came out with a console just for you.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They came out with a console especially for Keith.
I knew at the beginning when we looked at this joke, you were going to put this one on me. I don't eat that much KFC.
You can't. If you could, you would. It's only because you're in Thailand. We know this. Both of us know this.
We've got KFC. There's 5 KFCs within spitting distance of this house, and that's no word of a lie.
KFC.
This is amazing.
It does look like
it looks like an actual console,
with the exception of the inside.
But it says it's got a drawer that pops out to store your chicken and keep it warm. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, there's going to be some very happy people.
There are going to be some true.
So 120 FPS. Okay.
I'm a little. What do you call it? I'm a little in two minds about the PS5 and the Xbox X series at the moment. When the PS4 came out, and the PS3, and the Wii, and even the Xbox 360, there were like 5 games in its future that I went, I have to play them. But they don't. They're not. They haven't got that. No. I know that Microsoft is supposed to be doing another reveal to make up for the piss poor one they did for gameplay, where they didn't show any gameplay, and I'm sure they'll improve drastically because Sony showed them up, and that's the truth of it. Sony showed them up. I think the future games thing that they showed on YouTube also showed them up when it comes to this sort of thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, shall we move on? Is anyone anything else to say on it before we move on to the what the fuck story?
I think that interesting. They're releasing a proper media remote for it, which looks quite interesting. So looks like they're pushing the media side of it again. The headphones sound interesting. I liked the PS4 ones. They're pretty good headphones. I've used them traveling a couple of times before I got my Bose ones. They're pretty good. Yeah, I'm excited slightly for it, but I do get where you're coming from. At the moment, there are only a few games that kind of tickle my interest.
So with the PlayStation, I haven't seen the games for Xbox actually. It's going to depend on. No, I didn't think I had. And
no Gears, no Halo, and they're the kind of stalwarts.
It comes down to exclusives for me, because either way, the games are going to run pretty decent on both machines because of the hardware they got and the way they link together. there's 4 games that we listed today that I'm interested in. When I hear a little bit more about those, potentially it might be when there's about 5. That's when I'm interested. Like, I'm probably in. I'm probably going to get the PS5 anyway because they've said it's backwards compatible with PS4 games, and on that basis, I'm probably going to get that anyway because I need to upgrade on my Jet 5.
Your PS4 Pro's dying. That dodgy CD tray again. I mean, seriously, you need to get a new one.
Ultra hot fan that wakes my wife up when I'm playing it in the morning. It's so loud. It's like I'm hoovering. Gav can attest to that.
Have you tried taking it out of his little cubby hole and putting it like
on its? I've got a time somewhere that I can put it. See if it helps. On that basis, no. I'm out. That's it. Done.
See, I have to wait whether to get a new Mac. They're quite expensive, so I'd be done for at least a couple of years. All right, so this is our what the fuck story, and I'll try and figure out how you can get some.
Oh God, I've seen this. No, please don't show it.
Right. This is courtesy
I knew he was going to have this reaction to it.
This is courtesy of Commander Baxter. All right.
Right, you just show it.
So this is. I'm hoping that Keith can import the audio across on this one. All right. Oh God, it might help if I mute him. So this is. I'm sorry, Americans, for those who do know how to do this, but this lady doesn't.
We can't hear her, Gareth. Did you show the audio?
So let me just explain what's going on here.
No. She can. You can hear what she's saying.
Can you?
Yeah.
No, we can't.
No, you can't because I'm not sharing audio. Fucking.
Yeah, we told you that. We just said that.
Sorry.
He needs to reshare.
Oh,
and then
I am resharing. There we go. Now we got the audio on. All right, there we go.
Hey guys, so I got a lot of questions after my last video, and everyone wanted to see me make hot tea or British tea. So today we are going to make tea.
Not British tea, love. Not British tea, love.
Put it in the microwave. Set it for a minute.
You
Pour
don't.
the milk in.
No, you fucking
What are you doing?
Drop your tea bag in. Add the sugar.
Oh.
Give it a little stir.
Fucking hell, you need to squeeze the tea.
Hot tea. Hey guys, so I got a lot of questions after my
Nigel's got hot
video.
sweats. Nigel's got hot sweats.
I don't sound rude or anything. Her daughter looked so embarrassed.
Give it a little stir.
Hang on a second. And this is the British guy who corrected this. So we got sent how to make a cup of tea horribly. Dear Americans, put the kettle on. That's how you start with a cup of tea. Always. Works with coffee too.
Actually, we did a very good video on how to make a tea.
I know, this is one of the reasons we picked Nigel. Keith was saying about picking it out and picking something nearest and dearest to your heart. So here you go, look.
So we're filling our mug with water. Put it in the microwave. Set it for a minute. Pour the milk in. Add the sugar. Give it a little stir. And finally, pour it down the sink and make it properly.
That's courtesy of Baxter.
It's so British, that is. It's so British, that response.
Can you dig out our, I think, do you remember when we made our tea video?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did it in the style of, what was it? Was it Snatch?
It was somewhere between Snatch and Edgar Wright, where Edgar Wright does the tea, things like that for his films. Because we were just trying to practice filming, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, so if we dig that out, we can share that on, maybe we should share that on TikTok or whatever. And not TikTok, we'll share that on, we've got it on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, but not Monkey
You're way too old to be a TikTok star. You can't do your TikToks.
I haven't got any boobs either, so that doesn't work.
We did it 7 years ago?
Crikey, 97 years.
Probably about that.
Way too old to be. Yeah. I got them my TikToks, innit?
how to do a proper video on mating teeth.
Anyway, I
Completely
think on that note we should start wrapping things up. So next Wednesday I will be live streaming with Nigel, and Dave will interrupt at one point. We'll be playing Man of Medine, and that'll be interesting. And then we've got the podcast, and then a week after, Nigel will be streaming, and then Keith will be doing fast food films, and he will be doing that big rig thing that takes you to other planets. You know, there's like a gate for stars. You know, like a Stargate thing. What's that thing called again?
Don't know, mate.
So I will say goodbye. I don't know why I'm slumped in my chair. I should be sitting up. I forgot I'm on video. So it's goodbye from me.
Bye for me.
Goodbye from me. Don't you're delayed there. Bye from me, and it's a bye from Nigel.
And we'll see you in the next podcast. Thank you very much, guys. Catch you later.